Let's go through the computation of a C string length, and we call that C string is different than C++ string, right? So C string has a null terminator, which is 0 at the end. So what happens is if you like to manipulate or invoke any string-specific function to work with C string, so by the way, we're talking about C string here, you can either import or pound include C string library, which is either this or this, okay? But in this case, if we're to compute the number of characters that we have in the C string, we don't really need any of these libraries. We can probably just write them a for loop to compute the size, right, of this buffer, noting that the end of your string is terminated with a 0. We don't also need to use the indexing operators either. We can simply just use a point arithmetics and dereferencing operators since we're dealing with a string buffer, right? So recall that when we have a buffer that we passed in as a char start, this is a array of characters. And by virtue of having a string pointing to this buffer, this str actually points to, let's say if your string is this, right? So very end is your null terminator, right? So this is your null terminator. Now, str points to the very beginning, right, of your memory buffer. So index 0, right? So whatever this address is. So if you print out str, it actually gives you the memory address of the very first character of the entire buffer. This is assuming that str is not null, okay? So there's an assumption here that we're making here. Anyhow, how do we compute the length, right? The number of characters that we have in this buffer. Let's take a look in the next slide to understand the certain things that we need to be aware of. So this is your method signature, and recall that this is a constant, right? Char start s. So what does that mean? Well, this means that the pointer that points to the entire array, this entire array is not constant, right? So none of the chars that you have where this str points to inside this array could be changed or modified, right, or updated. This means that str, basically the entire buffer is a constant buffer, right? This means every element inside the buffer is constant. Okay, all right, so that said, str is a pointer pointing to the beginning address of the first character. We talked about that. The original string str points to cannot be changed or modified. So this is true. This is C string, okay? C string, not C++ string, which is a little different. We need to iterate through each character pointed to by str with a loop such as a while. So we can write a while loop, right? And our goal is to have our index pointing to the initial str, the very first character of the array, all the way through to the end until we see that null terminator at the end, right? So we can keep checking to see, hey, if this str is landed on in null characters or not. If not, then keep going, right? So while we keep iterating, we also keep track of a local length, all right, this variable until we get to the end. And that will, at the end, we will have the entire size of the array calculated. Okay, so that said, let's move on to check the solutions here. So let's look at the solutions here. We have a local counter. This counter starts with 0. Its goal is to compute the number of characters that we've had at the end, and then we return it at the end. Like I said before, we can have a while loop checking to see if the payload inside this str where it points to, is it a is it a null pointer or not, right? So this is our null terminator. Notice that we have dereference str, right? Dereference str gets you the value that this pointer is pointing to at any given moment. So initially, str points to the very first character of the array, like here, okay? And then every time you do dereferencing, you are getting like this str, you're getting the value of it. So you're getting the value of it. And the value, as long as it is not a null terminator, you'll just keep going. So towards the end, you're going to get to this null terminator. And where that's the case, this is while loop exits, right? If not, then you just keep doing str++. So what does that mean? str++ is str equals str+1, right? So this is pointer arithmetics. This allows you to jump, right, or hop, right, to the very next character location. This is not hopping by 1 byte, okay? Even though it is, since char is 1 byte, so there's a total number of, length number of bytes, right, that we have in this str. Actually, length plus 1 because there is a null terminator at the end. Anyhow, as long as the while loop is not exit, we just keep incrementing our length and then str as well, and then return to your length at the end. So this is a solution that solves the compute string length problem.